Alrighty, hey everyone. I think everything's up and running here. Got a little delayed here to start. Sorry about that. But obviously today, oh my gosh, well, we might have actually a deal with Iran and the United States there. It looks like we're gonna have a 2-week ceasefire. Things are firing right now. Things are going green, which is great. Bitcoin was up to 72,000, came back a little bit down. Oil also went down to $91. It's now at like $97, $96 as of last. So this is great news for us. This is what we were waiting for, to have possibly a ceasefire, possibly an end to this conflict as well. This is going to be pumping us going forward here. So I think we're going to be in a V-shaped recovery here, similar to what we had last year. Could be wrong on that, but that's kind of what I'm feeling, at least right now, what I'm seeing. And we'll see if that's the case here. Obviously, the markets are in the green right now at after hours as well. The futures are green. So that's all looking great for us. What else do we have here? I think that's it. We're not going to really get into it here. You guys obviously can see all the details on X. You can see it in the news as well of what's going on here. It looks like both Trump and the Iran government there are working things out, right? So we have at least 2 weeks here. Strait of Hormuz is going to be possibly getting open as well. That's a good sign there. That's why everything is happening here, and that's why it's a big positive for us here. Other than that, we have news stories from BitDeer, which is going to be on their A6, their A4 chips. We're going to talk about that as well. We'll talk about also Cleanspark providing the production update, and are they getting close to getting an AI deal with somebody here for data centers? We'll talk about that as well. Other than that, that's basically what we got here. Yeah, I think that's going to be it here. Let's get into it all here, and we're going to call it a day at that point. Go to a Q&A as well. All right, we got to go through this. As you guys know, full disclosure below that as always. Hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously here. And let's take a look at what's going on here with Bitcoin and the markets in general today. Bitcoin actually finished out in the green here, which was great, but the miners were kind of mixed here towards the day here on things. Markets were also kind of mixed. Most part were in the green here. Dow Jones was a little bit down in the red there, but not much. But Bitcoin obviously went up quite nicely here today. We had a nice bounce on it, and that happened after the news came out with the ceasefire for 2 weeks. So no, I'm not going to get into it, right? We're not here on politics. We're here to talk about the stocks and everything else. But Bitcoin got to 70,378 on the high here. Sorry, it was over here. 72,753 was the high today. We closed at 71,910, and then we're down a little bit here in the new day for it right now. Things are still being basically digested in the markets. In Bitcoin, gold's even up right now as it is. The 10-year is down, along with the 30-year is down right now, and the new day for the futures on side on those things. So that's good news for us. So it looks like the market at least is accepting this ceasefire right now. They're believing in it, which is good news. Which then I believe is going to obviously translate to Bitcoin going up higher, miners going up higher as well, stocks going up higher, and well, the market's going to go up higher as well. All great news for us, right? This is kind of what we've been waiting for. See, Ethereum here today also had a nice bounce today. It was up 6.28%. It went up to a high of $2,272. Closed at $2,239 there. It's down a little bit here as well in the after hours or the new day for it. And then the Bitcoin AI companies. Applied was down, BitDeer was down, Kanga was down. Cypher was actually up almost 5% there. Cleanspark was down just a little bit. Then we had CORZ being up 3.3%, Hive being down 1.5%, Hut 8 being up 6.21%, IREN being up 1.74%, Keel being down 5.56%. It had a nice day yesterday, so it gave back some of those gains there. Mara was up 1.24%, Nibius was up 4.32%, Riot was up 4.96%, and Wolf was up 6.56%. Bitcoin holding companies were also mixed today. MicroStrategy giving back some of the gains it had from yesterday. Galaxy was up, Block was down, Coin, Metaplanet, Exodus, and Nexon were in the green. Phoenix was in the red again, down another 18% there. Game was up a little bit. Small miners were mixed also. Mawson continuing a nice little rally to the upside here at being up 10.42%. The reason for that is because of the activist investors. They're getting their way a little bit with changing the board, which is great news for them. They needed to do that. They need to obviously change some things up in that company to make it prosper going forward. So that's great for the company there and for the shareholders also. The Bitcoin miner ETFs here were all in the green. Ethereum holding companies were all in the red for some reason today, even with Ethereum being in the green today, which is kind of strange. And then the other companies that we track here, American Bitcoin was in the red. Wi-Fi was in the green, 6.15% there. Open down, Oracle down, Soluna being up, just up slightly, back being flat. ASST being down quite a bit there, 8.45%, not sure why. Fermi was down also. Meta, Google, Amazon were in the green. Microsoft red. Nvidia in the green. Tesla, EOS, and UAI being in the red there. Okay, Bitcoin for the month of April here, we are up 5%. So I could see us ending April if this continues and the ceasefire is good for the 2 weeks, and then we do come to some sort of a agreement between the two countries. And then I could definitely see Bitcoin being up, plus 20% here by the end of April. We could be even higher than that, probably, maybe even possibly much higher than that. If we get a similar recovery where we had last year as well during the Trump tariffs, we could see things bounce quite nicely for us at that point. Because if you look at back in 2025, we're up 14% on it. I think we might be doing a little bit better. And the reason I say we're going to be doing a little bit better is because right now we have come down much, much lower from where we were compared to where we kind of bottomed out at that point with Bitcoin last year. And if you, well, we could take a look at it here. If we look at it up here, I was going to show this to you guys anyways, but I almost forgot there. If we look at the weekly on Bitcoin here, you can see that Bitcoin went from basically 126,000 all the way down to 60,000, right, roughly. And then during the Trump tariffs, we got up to a high of roughly 107,000, and we only came down to the low at this point was 74,000, right? Much smaller decline there, and then we bounced. This time around, we had many more things playing against us here. Jane Street being one of them, also causing a lot of downside pressure on Bitcoin, a lot of selling happening there. In that, people believing in the 4-year cycle still. So a lot of things were being sold there. Whales were selling, all that stuff. So we definitely went down much, much further here, which then makes me think we might have a nice, possibly a nicer bounce here by the end of the month here. But we'll see. Okay, so there's that. Bitcoin ETFs here, inflows, outflows. We had outflows of 142 million today without IBIT reporting. Yesterday we had 471 inflows, which was kind of where I was thinking we would probably be ending up at. And then obviously the great news story here is, right, oil crashed 23% to 91 in the past 12 hours, the second largest single day crash since March 2020. Meanwhile, NASDAQ futures were up 2.44% at one point. S&P was up 2%. Dow was up almost 2% as well. Gold touching, I think gold is at like 4,900 right now, so it's still going up. And Bitcoin trading above 7,200 or 72,000. It's come down a little bit here, possibly some little profit taking there happening right now as it is. So great news for us. We've been battling this for a long time, but regardless which side you're on Trump, as far as if you're pro-Trump or against Trump, this is still a really good thing for the markets, because that's what we really care about is the markets, right? How are the markets going to be doing? And if we have some, I guess, it's not confusion, right? We're kind of getting rid of the confusion here. We have stability in the markets, things like that, that will help out. Markets go up higher, Bitcoin go up higher, miners will go up higher as well. That's what we want. And that's what we're going to possibly be getting here. As long as, like I said, as long as the ceasefire holds and they come to some kind of negotiations and agreement, all of that will be great. Right now, it just seems like that's going to be the case here, but we'll see. All right, other news stories that we do have here really quick is Bitdeer launches SealMiner A4 series Bitcoin mining rigs, achieves a power efficiency of 9.45 joules per terahash. I think they are missing their targets. I think their target was like 5 joules per terahash on the A4s. If we go back about a year and a half when they released their roadmap for the SealMiner chips. So I think they're away a little bit. I mean, roughly 100% off from where they were targeting, but still really, really efficient here. I'm not sure what the latest Bitmain machines are at as far as efficiency, but being under sub 10 is really, really good. All right, so today they announced the launch of its latest self-developed mining machines, the SealMiner A4 series. This generation integrates Bitdeer's proprietary Seal04 chips, leveraging advanced process nodes to set competitive benchmarks in performance. The launch marks the successful fulfillment of Bitdeer's previously announced technology roadmap, underscoring its commitment to long-term R&D and objectives, which is great. The new series includes 3 models designed for diverse deployment environments: the air cooling A4 Pro Air, and the 2 hydro cooling models, the A4 Pro Hydro and the A4 Ultra Hydro. So no price points, at least right now, on this as far as if you wanted to buy these. But the A4 Ultra Hydro is going to be 9.45 joules per terahash, 886 terahash, and a lot of watts, 8,372 watts. You definitely need a nice power supply there. The A4 Pro Hydro also 10.9 joules per terahash, 680 terahash at 7,412 watts, and the A4 Pro Air is at 10.9 joules terahash also, but it's only basically half of the Pro Hydro at 336 terahash at 3,662 at that point of wattage. So pretty good that they were able to get to sub 10 joules per terahash. Obviously, we want to see this come down even more in time, and I think we might get there within the next couple of years where we're down to 5 joules per terahash. I think they're going to have to use basically like 2 nanometer technology or lower than that in the next series to possibly get down to those types of efficiencies here. But I mean, this is still huge. Going back to 2017, when I was mining with the ASICs at that time, which was with the Bitmain, what was it? The S9. Yeah, it was the S9. That one was 13.5, 13.7 terahash, and we're at 886 right now. Huge improvements in this space have happened over the last, basically, what has it been, 9 years, more or less. And like anything else in computing or anything like that, it just continues to improve as time progresses, which is great. All right, so there's that on BitDeer. And then we got Cleanspark here providing their operational update for March here. They also provide a little bit of update on their talks with potential customers. Okay, not much into details, but just a little bit. So this is a quote here from Matt Schultz, Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of Cleanspark. We continue to make significant headway towards securing our first hyperscaler customer in AI and high-performance computing while actively building out our talent pipeline to support these high-margin growth initiatives, which is great. I'd love to see a little bit more details on where those talks are at. I don't know if they can because they're publicly traded, right? All those things go into play there with the SEC. But I'd love to see at least maybe a breakdown, right? Here's the number of customers we're having talks with in early stage talks. This then break it down like early stage, advanced stage or middle stage, right? Somewhere in there, and an advanced stage where they're getting close to it. We'd love to see like kind of breakdown on that, not just from Cleanspark, but from everybody here that's involved in this. But I don't know if they can do this legally because then investors can go back, well, you were saying that you had 4 advanced talks with customers and you got nothing, right? Then they could go back and possibly sue them for that. So I don't know if there's a way to do that or not, but it'd be great if we had at least some sort of breakdown where the talks are and kind of like the progression of talks. But it is what it is. We'll cover obviously at that point. So are they close to having an AI deal? I think they are. Like I've talked before, they have great sites in Atlanta. They obviously have sites now in Texas as well. And it's just a matter of, I think, the numbers. It's going to be a matter of numbers, right? What makes sense for the customer? What makes sense for them? Can they agree on the terms there? That's going to be the defining metric there. Okay. Matt continues to say on here, our people remain the foundation of our competitive advantage. Meanwhile, our core Bitcoin mining and digital asset management operations generated robust cash flow that continues to fund these strategic investments and drive long-term shareholder value, which is great. Right, they're able to mine it, I think, still at a lower cost than where Bitcoin price is at right now. So they're still slightly profitable, not including depreciation and things like that. But if you just look at just cash costs, they're still profitable at that point, slightly. So Bitcoin produced for the month here was 658. Calendar year 2026, Bitcoin produced was almost 1,800 there, 1,799. Operational hash rate still at 50 exahash. Average operating hash rate was 47.3. That's a nice improvement from over the last couple of months that we've seen here. And then they currently still have the 1.8 gigawatts under contract, and they're only utilizing 800 of that roughly. So they have about a gigawatt that could be possibly used for AI, depending on the sites and things like that. Bitcoin sold at spot was 405. I actually have like 460. I'm not sure if maybe they're Bitcoin sold pursuant to call exercises, right? Bitcoin acquired pursuant to put exercises, and then Bitcoin acquired related to delta neutral basis trade. I wonder if that is the reason why I'm off on it. Maybe they generated some Bitcoin from those trading deals. Maybe, right? But I'm off on it. Total Bitcoin holdings as of the end of March here was 13,561, and the average price sold for Bitcoin was 71,386. So everything looks pretty good here, right? If we look at their numbers here, we currently have them sitting at about 2.3 billion market cap. Stock is at $9.06 at the end of today. Performance of the last 12 weeks has not been great, but hasn't been great for a lot of these companies, with the one exception of Nibius, which has been on fire here recently. Current hash rate still at 50 exahash. Future hash rate is supposed to get to about 57.5 roughly, I believe. We don't know if they're going to build it out here going forward, or if they're just going to concentrate more on the AI data center space. But that's kind of where we're having it right now. Megawatts right now, it should be, probably should update that to 1800, because that's what they provided us with. So we'll go to 1800 right now. Megawatt pipeline there, about 3,000 megawatts. Bitcoin HODL, that should be updated as well, because that actually increased here in the last month. Forgot to update that. That gets them to about almost $1 billion there in value on the HODL that they have. And then HODL to market cap is 41%. So each share has about $3.79 of HODL in it right now. Bitcoin production here, nice increase over the last couple months, where we've seen that coming down here. 658 is really, really nice. This kind of brings them back to where they were back in August, July of last year, actually, without actually increasing their hash rate or anything like that. It's just better operational uptime, which is great. Monthly revenue here increased also to 45.89 million based on Bitcoin price, average price for the month of March there. Bitcoin HODL has come up here a little bit. They were down a little bit in February. That increased back up. So that's one of their new highs here. On that one, hash growth flat, right? 50 exahash, no change in that. Bitcoin sold, I have them at 460, like I said. And then Bitcoin per exahash efficiency up to 13.2. More efficient, more uptime. That leads to more efficiency on their mining side of things, which is great. Bitcoin sold value is still about 32 million there. And going down here, institutions and analysts, we'll look at that first here. We'll look at the numbers here in a second as far as where I think they should be valued at. But institutions increased a little bit, 578, right? Shares also increased a little bit here to 232 million. And they're now owned by institutions 91%, which is quite a lot there. We still have 9 strong buy ratings. Now we have 2 buy ratings instead of the 3 there. Price targets for the high stayed the same at 26. The average went up to 19.63, and the lowest stayed the same at $14 for them. And they were operating here for March. It looks like approximately 28.5 days roughly, which is definitely an improvement from the 24 that they were at. 25 days there, 25 days. So a nice improvement in the operational numbers for them. That helped them out with where we think they should be kind of priced at, right? This doesn't include any AI deals because they don't have any right now, not even pricing that in right now. But this is basically on Bitcoin mining side of things. Just on that alone, I think they should be somewhere around $21.50 and $32 roughly. They're at $9.06. So yes, in my opinion, they are definitely undervalued from where they should be. Given that they are trying to get AI deals, I think once they do get a deal with somebody there for one of their sites, I think it's going to be possibly in Georgia, probably around the Atlanta area. At that point, we could definitely see this thing pop quite nicely here, depending on the deal, the size, the megawatts, all of that's going to be obviously important. But we could definitely see them pop quite nicely here. And also, if the markets now are in basically boom mode, we could see this stock and obviously all the other miners and AI companies go up as well. So if you've been buying into these things here recently, I think that was possibly a great thing to do. Like I've said many times before, be greedy when others are fearful, be fearful when others are greedy. And if you're playing that, which is obviously from Warren Buffett there, you were probably doing better. But the thing is, I saw Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway is sitting on like, was it $300 some odd billion in cash, and they're not looking, they're at least not buying anything right now. We'll see if that changes here in a couple weeks, if they're starting to buy back in on some of these things that have been definitely beaten down quite a bit here. Microsoft, one of those, right? Other companies as well have been beaten down quite a bit for really no reason other than just the market being the market. All right, so that's kind of where we're looking at right now for them. Right now, it's a waiting game with Cleanspark to see when they will actually get an AI deal. We've seen other companies, it takes, at least historically, it's taken like a year plus, a year and then a couple months to get a deal with one of these customers here for their AI data centers. We've seen it with Cypher, we've seen it with IREN as well. TeraWulf was actually pretty quick to get a deal. I think that was mainly because of Stanley Druckenmiller. He invested in, I believe, in TeraWulf at that point, and I think he maybe brought some other investors in at that point as well, and some customers also. So that helped them out, I think. Other Other than that, everybody else, let's see, CoreWeave and Core Scientific did a deal pretty quickly as well. That was probably the first deal that happened there. But those two had obviously a relationship with CoreWeave, and that was actually mining Ethereum through GPUs that were hosted through CoreWeave, or Core Scientific, sorry, at that point. So that was a different story at that time. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of time. We'll see when they do get a deal. I think sometime in the, I'm guessing it's going to be in the second half. I'm not expecting anything here in the second quarter for them. I'm guessing it's going to be in the second half potentially. I'll be happily surprised if it is in the second quarter, but I think more likely in the second half of the year. All right, that's it. Let's get into Q&A, see what you guys have to say. And I'm looking forward to a much better market here in the next couple of days, couple of weeks as well, maybe months going forward, with some stability in the markets as well, and not a lot of FUD, I guess. So good things are happening here for us, which is about time, because it was rough. All right, let's get into a Q&A here. And as always, spreadsheets are available to the Patreon members. Link for that is down in the description. $4 a month, you get access to all that stuff, plus our private Discord server as well, which is a freaking awesome deal. You want to take part in that, and it helps me out on being able to do this stuff for you guys as well. And for myself, right? I do this for myself, but I also provide it to you guys at a very, very reasonable price. All right, let's see what we got as far as questions, comments here. We'll go through it all. I didn't answer any comments here in the beginning because I got a little delayed, but we'll go through it here right now. There was one, let's see here. All right, let's see here. Rob is in. Rob says hi. Hi, Rob. Tej is also in. Trump has stopped war for 2 weeks. I think miners pumping after hours. Yes, they are. Hopefully these gains hold now. As long as there's a solution to this conflict, then yeah, I think we're going to be in possibly in a V-shaped recovery here, but we'll see. Trump says, Bevney says Trump. Oh man, oh man. Rob says, what gains? Tej, IP2XE is way down, down day for Bitcoin and all the miners. I mean, things ended, well, I think the news came out after the markets closed actually. So we should have a good day tomorrow. And E1Q asks, yo, why CoreWeave not on your list? CoreWeave doesn't have any sites. All of their, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe they don't have any sites that they own. All of their deals are through partners like CORZ Scientific, Applied Digital, and others, where they're basically leasing the data centers at that point, right? So that's the reason why I don't have them in here right now. But if they do have something that I'm not aware of it, let me know, and we can probably include them at that point. But I'm trying to include the ones that actually have data centers that they own in this. So that's the reason why. John says, without a doubt, IREN won the war so far. Well, they've definitely done really well here, along with obviously, who else is it? Applied Digital, Nebius has done well. Cypher, TeraWolf have done very well in the last year as well. Let's see. Tej says, hey Seb, you okay, buddy? Yeah, I'm great as always. I'm a little tired. I was actually installing the floor today. Those boxes are like 50 pounds a piece. Dragging those things down and squatting and things like that. I'm a little sore right now, but we'll get through it. Let's see what else we got here. All right. John says, hey Seb, though fearing huge inflation soon, I've been buying heavily since 4/1. Okay, searching for a replacement for IREN, but can't find any high growth stocks that can equal IREN going forward. Let's go. I mean, there's still a lot of high growth companies out there. Some of them are obviously still private. They're in funding mode right now. We may not have access to those for maybe a couple months, maybe even a couple of years at this point. The one that's going to be kind of interesting to watch, there's going to be SpaceX here going public. I heard the latest is they're looking at like a $2 trillion valuation when they go public, which is huge, which is also kind of scary at that point. Because how much more upside can they possibly have at that point? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of interest for it. People want to buy into it, but man, getting in, depending on where it's priced at on the stock, right? How many shares are outstanding, all that stuff. We'll definitely keep an eye on that one. That's one that I want to watch for sure, if not buy into it as well. There's others I think that you could possibly look at as well. But yeah, IREN has got a lot of growth here with the megawatts that they have available for them for the next 2 to 3 years. What else here? Okay, it says hopefully these miners can have a 20% pump in a day. It might happen here, right? If everything stays calm. Cinema says, it looks like I won't be seeing that nice entry point with BitDeer for a while. I may just put it into Keel. Who knows? Okay. Steve says, best day ever. I think the best is yet to come there, though. Larry, Hive and Cleanspark screw me, but holding. Patience with Cleanspark. Hive is an interesting one. I like what they're doing here. Their growth over the last year has been great. The only knock I have on them, and I've been talking about that basically for the last 5 years, is they don't have any sites here in the United States. I think that might be a little bit detriment to them, right? All right. Let's see. B82 is in. How you doing? Good day, Seb. Good day to you. B82 says, buy more Hive. I still have large position in Hive and Keels. Surely one will run. Yeah. I would agree with you there. I think maybe Keel might have the better possibility because of the site that they're working on the co-location in Washington, which is 18 megawatts there. That might help the stock. And then they obviously have a lot of growth here going into 2027 and 28 as well with the additional megawatts they can possibly get there. Steve says, let's go BitDeer. Gary, Ken, never lose betting on Trump Taco. He tries to act tough, but smart money knows Taco is coming. I don't know if it was Taco. I think I've heard reports as well that China might have talked to Iran there and said, hey, you got to be able to basically bend as well, right? It can't be just one way. Regardless, it's a good thing. We need this thing to end. All right, Neville says, I will patiently wait for the pullback on BitDeer. I really like the stock. If I can't get it, I'll put the money into Keel. But what kind of price point are you looking for in BitDeer there? BitDeer has a lot of potential as well. Currently, they've obviously been going through some tough times here. The lawsuit from their neighbor in, I think it's Dayton, Ohio, where they have a large site that's 170 megawatts. That's pausing things for them as far as build out. So that's not great there if they can get that resolved. And, you know, I'd like to see better numbers on the sales of their ASICs as well to customers. Right, I don't know if they're going to be able to match what Bitmain has been selling in the past here, but I'd like to at least see those things improve over time. That would be great for them. And then Gary says, best thing with Cleanspark is they announced they had reached escape velocity and told retail they won't need more funding in late 2025. Nothing worse than buying a stock that dilutes under $10. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to need dilution here this year. They did reach escape velocity last year. With Bitcoin coming back down, I don't know if that's still the case here. All right, but I need to ask, who do you think will get a deal faster, Clean Bitfarms or BitDeer? I mean, BitDeer is already deploying their own GPUs in several areas, I believe, right? In was it Norway? I think Norway or I think it's Norway. I could be wrong on that. I know it's up north, northern side of Europe there. And then they're also building stuff out in, is it Bhutan? They have a bunch of sites. I can't remember them all. But they're basically installing their own GPUs and building a GPU cloud similar to what IREN is doing. On a smaller scale right now, but they are increasing that as time progresses here. With them getting BitDeer, they have also pretty good sites, large sites as well. Yeah, I would say probably between Cleanspark and BitDeer, I think, is where I'd be looking at. Bitfarms, Keel now. I think we're probably going to be looking more towards the end of the year here, I think, for a co-location deal with that one in Washington site. But we'll see. All right, John says, Russell 2000 futures up 3.5%. HPC miners booming tomorrow. We need 10 more big days. Yeah, we need a lot more big days like that. Mark Fund, my today's buy trade didn't fill. Who else? I didn't do any buying at all today. Mark says, I don't think this ceasefire would last. It's hard to tell, right? We don't know if it's going to last or not, but we need it to last. We need it to come to some sort of agreement there on their viewpoints one way on one side and then the other side as well. They need to come to some kind of agreement. That's just my take. Let's see. Rob says, Seb, did you watch Ben getting on Bitfarms on Keel? I did. I watched it last night after the stream here. I went in and actually sat down on the couch there, put it on the projector screen in the basement here, and I watched it. And yeah, it was very interesting to hear what Ben had to say. Ben obviously is very well spoken and educated as well. He knows what's going on there. So I mean, if you're getting into Bitfarms or Keel now, you're basically getting in because of Ben, right? You believe that Ben can execute here. He's done the right things, I believe, in the last year and a half, changing the company, right? Getting re-domiciled in the United States. I thought it was interesting what he said there, that it was like only 5 companies in the last, 15, 20 years have actually re-domiciled in the United States. That was interesting. I didn't know that, if that's the case. But yeah, it was a great interview by the guys there. Okay, let's see here. Gary says Buffett went into almost all cash by the end of 2025 before any news on workout. Feels everything is overvalued as his value index has stocked valued even higher than before 2008 crash. Okay, yeah. Kamikaze there. Hi, said bought more Bitfarms Keel, waiting for $10. Okay, very nice. Buffett went into almost all cash. Okay, we should cover that. Sam is asking why is Keel tanking. I think it's just some profit taking on that one because it had a nice day yesterday. It was up almost 10% yesterday. So we're seeing a little bit of profit taking happening today. But did anyone else average mess up because of the shares transfer from Bitfarms to Keel? Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look into that. So I would have to see where my account is with my brokerage on that one. I'll take a look at that. That's interesting. Neville, I'm going to have to disagree with you on Keel. They are for sure getting at least one deal this year. They expect both Moses Lake and Panther Creek to be operational in 2027, right, by the end. I mean, yeah, they could still get a deal later on this year for their Washington site. It's a smaller site, so you have maybe more interest in that from smaller customers as well. So I think they will get a deal possibly by the end of the year, but it's not going to be a large deal, right? I mean, you're looking at 18 megawatts for operations. You're probably looking at closer to 14 for the AI side of things, because you need things for cooling and all that stuff. So we're looking at maybe 14 megawatts, which isn't a lot, but it's still one deal. Kamikaze says 1 deal, maybe 2. I mean, that would be great if they can get a deals for their other sites as well. But he says, yeah, Keel definitely getting a deal this year, which will 2x the stock very quickly. Yeah, if they get a deal for something, right, it'll depend on the amount they're getting as well. But where the stock is right now, I think a 2x is definitely easy because, I mean, we're right up to $6 plus here, I think, last year, right, towards the end of September, October. So I think you can go back to that as long as the markets are in bullish mode, which they might be here because of what's happening with the ceasefire and possible agreement on terms. We'll see. All right, that is it. We'll call it a day here. It's late. Like I said, I'm tired. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm hoping for a nice day across the board here for Bitcoin, for these AI companies as well, and AI data center companies as well. But we'll see on that one. Let's see here. Ben asks, do you think Keel will raise money? I think based on what Ben said in the interview with McNally Money there and Anthony, that they currently have enough capital to basically build out the 18 megawatts data center in Washington, which is they're guessing it's going to be roughly 10 to 12 million per megawatt there. And that's kind of why they're going with co-location, because if they had to buy their own GPUs and everything else, it'd be double that, right? So that's kind of why they're going in that. Plus, they also stated they have more interest from companies looking to do colo deals than the other one. So I don't think they have to raise money yet. If they do need to raise money, I hope that they wait for the stock to go up nicely, and then at that point pull maybe a little bit on the ATM if they have an ATM or something like that, or do another convertible notes. I'd probably like to see that more so than doing dilution right now where the stock is at. But we'll see. But I think right now they're okay though. They just got to keep obviously an eye on their expenditures here going forward. All right. That's it. Love you all. Thank you so much for coming in so late, as always. We're doing a little bit better this week, I think, than we have done in the past year, a couple of weeks, where before I was going like 10:30, 11 o'clock, going live. And that's because I'm winding down this basement project here. It's getting kind of nice to be close to the finish line. And obviously I can spend a little bit more time here doing the research on these things as well. So again, love you all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we have a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful green day in the markets and the miners and everything else. Okay. Let's see, we got one more coming in from Adam there. Adam says, Ben overpromised and under-delivered. On which regard? Are you talking about the Bitcoin mining side of things here, or getting a deal for AI. I don't know if he overpromised just yet, right? They're still trying to get things done there. I think he's okay. I mean, he did a lot of things to turn the company from where it was going, but transitioning it from Latin America into the United States more so for AI and compute, it takes time and things like that. So I think he's doing all the right things. Give him time. Be a little patient there. All right, that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Until then, bye.